Steve, could you call the roll for the record, please?
Ms. Reagan. Mr. King.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Brook.
Here.
Regan's here, present.
Thank you, Sherry. Under tabled business, amendment to data processing service agreement.
The data process services agreement, Joe looked at that with James King. You have a copy in your file, or not James King, but James Fluke. There were some math errors in it, and I believe that the version that you have is now correct for everybody to review and make your decision on.
John, Commissioner Regan here. I'd like to know why we are adding this. What did we miss something in our other contract or what?
I don't quite understand the question. There were some errors in the math in the previous contract that Mr. Fluke had provided, and those were corrected between Joe and Mr. Fluke.
Okay, so it's just a human error that someone overlooked.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll move we adopt.
First of all, you got to take it off the table, though.
I'll remove it from the table.
Second.
We have a motion to remove from the table in a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. I'd entertain a motion for adoption.
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agreement. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Okay, now we'll go to the Eagle View proposal and agreement. Marta Moody.
Sorry, give me a minute. I had to unmute. This is, we presented it at the last meeting, and this is another three flight, 6-year agreement for pictometry. And that is the aerial photography that we use in our Beacon website. And the agreement is very similar to the last agreement. And I think, as I reported at the last meeting, I do have 80% of the cost covered for 2 of the flights. And Kyle is always good about getting the remaining 20% local match. And so we should be, and there's no penalty if we don't do that 3rd flight, if for funding reasons, we can't do the 3rd flight. So the only thing I would say is that it's ready to go, except I would ask that you subject to receiving the thanks, John. Subject to receiving the
Last 20%.
no, the sole source confirmation from NDOT.
Okay. So I'd entertain a motion to remove it from the table.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion to remove it from the table in a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the agreement with the amendment that Marta had talked about with NDOT.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Thank you, Marta.
Thank you.
Okay, next is the approval of the minutes, December 7th, 2020 meeting.
So move.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. All right, thank you. Next, we have a presentation to Larry Bledsoe. James?
Yes. For everybody that knows, Larry Bledsoe, he spent 8 years as a Delaware County Commissioner. He also spent 4 years as a Delaware County Council member. And the commissioners would like to present him with a plaque for all of his dedication and his service to Delaware County over those years. Not only has he been a commissioner and also a council member, but he's also served as a Delaware County Reserve Sheriff's Deputy. Larry served his community well, and everybody that knows Larry, he did it Larry's way, and he did a great job. One thing I always liked about Larry, he never held back. He said what he had to say, and he did a great job for this community. Never answered to anybody but the citizens and himself. So I would like to present this plaque for Larry Bledsoe in appreciation of your many years of dedicated service, devotion, and commitment to the citizens of Delaware County. Larry was a Delaware County Commissioner from the year 2006 to 2014, and he was a Delaware County Council at Large member from 2016 to 2020. I'd like to dedicate this to him on this 21st day of December of 2020. I know Larry would have liked to have been on here, but I know some issues come up that he wasn't able to. So Larry, if you're watching, I'll get this plaque to you. And as one commissioner, thank you for everything you've done. And also thank you for being a great mentor to me when I first became a commissioner. So thank you, Larry.
Well done.
I had the pleasure of serving with Larry as a commissioner for 2 years, and it was a very enjoyable. We had a great time along with Tom Bennington as commissioner those 2 years. Larry did a great job, and Larry was honest and put the needs of Delaware County first.
Sherry, do you have something you'd like to say?
Well, like the guys have said, he did it his way and he did it the right way. And you can't beat someone for that. And we will miss him around the courthouse. But thank you, Larry.
Larry, we greatly appreciate your service to Delaware County, and I'm sure all the citizens and the other elected officials do too. So thank you very much. Okay, we'll go to contracts and agreements for approval. The emergency declaration 2020-21, John.
Yes, our last emergency declaration expires today. I've shared it on the screen. This is the same declaration as before. It incorporates the governor's executive orders, 48, 49, and 50. There's still an ongoing health emergency in the county. We've had 1,294 cases since the last emergency declaration in this county. And so it continues the mask mandate and the various requirements for the health department and for the county. This one expires at your next meeting on January 4th, 2021.
Our Office of Information has been sending out public service announcements periodically, and we appreciate that. And obviously, we continue to ask the citizens of Delaware County to wear your mask, social distance, and be careful with the upcoming Christmas holiday. What's the pleasure of the commissioners for the disaster emergency declaration 2020-21?
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second,
We have a motion to approve the declaration and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Reagan,
yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Okay, next we have Ashland Land Surveyor Kathy. Kathy, we're having problems hearing you. let's let Kathy work on the microphone. Kathy, we'll go ahead with some other business and come back to you. Let's go to the local road and bridges matching grant. Angie?
Good morning, Commissioners. Delaware County was awarded $1 million for the Community Crossing Matching Grant Fund. I have two contracts because they are two different types of work. One is to rehab a bridge, and the other is to asphalt overlay approximately 5 miles of roadway. So I just need your approval so I can submit this to the state so they could send us the funding.
You have on your screen the project description for the bridge, which is on Cowan Road there at White and Cornbread, $646,018.55.
Angie, can we go ahead and do both agreements at the same time?
That would be fine with me. The other contract, we're awarded $353,981.45, which gives us a grand total of $1 million.
That's on your screen now as well.
Yep. I'll make a motion that we accept both contracts for the matching grant.
Second.
We have a motion to approve both contracts for the grant. Angie, thanks for you and your staff for working on that. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Kathy, are you ready now? We're still not getting anything. Mark, can you see anything on your end?
Yeah, it shows her mic's connected and everything. Not sure why we're not hearing her. Something on that end.
I could help explain these because they went through the plat committee if you want.
Absolutely, Marta, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, these are two one-lot plats that were filed. And the one is for the Heath subdivision. And it's on 400 South east of State Road 67. And it is involving, yes, a dedication of right-of-way for 400 South, 30 feet, half right-of-way. And then along the west side of the plat, that is actually existing right-of-way that is in the name of the Indiana Department of Transportation. And that was land that was obtained when they did years ago, State Road 67. So this dedication is basically for 400 South. And then for the other one, the Manning subdivision, it's a one-lot plat, and they're also dedicating, excuse me, 30 feet of right-of-way, half right-of-way on, okay, I forget the road. But, and I don't have it in front of me.
It's in Monroe Township,
Yeah, okay. And
500 South.
thank you, 500 South, Monroe Township. And this is, like I say, a one-lot plat for, they will be placing a dwelling unit there. And there is an easement on the west side for access to the lot right there. But this is, as I said, dedicating 30 feet of half right-of-way for 500 South. And the plat committee did approve both plats, subject to the commissioner's acceptance of the right-of-way dedications as presented. So that's it.
I move we adopt both plats as presented.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Okay, next is the payment of claims for $8,186,732.68.
Motion to approve.
Second,
A motion to approve the claims and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kane,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Let me go back to department heads or elected officials. Does any department heads or elected officials have anything to say?
Yeah, this is Kyle over in the EOC. We've been meeting with the health department to start putting together a informational, educational campaign related to vaccine distribution. We haven't received a whole lot of information yet about how that's going to happen in terms of how it's going to get out to the public. Vaccines have been going out to all our first responders and healthcare, but we should know more within the next week or two, and then we'll start putting that information out. There is a vaccine information page on the coronavirus hub at dcema.com where we'll start to put all that information as it becomes available.
Very good. Thank you, Kyle. Does anybody got any questions about that? All right. Anyone else?
And if nobody else has something, I would just like to talk about what happened at the highway department
Okay.
with the highways budget. I'd like for people to understand that none of the commissioners knew that Mr. Jesse was laying off 9 people. None of us knew about it until I believe I got a phone call from some of the employees that said they were losing their job. And I want people to understand that as soon as that budget was turned in, the commissioners could not go back and add anything to it. But we had started working with some of the council to get the money. Once our budget, the state approved the budget to put the money back in to keep these people working. And I know, Shannon, that you and John Brook had worked with several of the council members trying to keep these positions. And we believe that those positions had been placed back in to where we could keep them, but I guess not. But my problem is where the budget was turned in without any one of the commissioners viewing it. I know most of the time I've always been contacted, how do we want the budget? Do we want the budget to be the same from the year before? I've had budgets sent to me. This year, I don't know why the budget was not sent to us. The only thing I can say is that there was 9 people that was going to be laid off, but a couple of people added significant size raises to the budget for themselves, which is something I really don't like, because you don't lay people off and then give yourself a raise, is the way I feel. I think maybe we should look to go in a different direction at the highway department. I don't know about you guys. I'm just not happy. I was hoping last week that the council would have approved the transfer of the money over so we could have kept those people working to Christmas. But I understand they vote the way they feel they need to vote. But me personally, I think there needs to be some changes at the county highway after this. I'm just not very happy the way this was done. So I don't know if any of the rest of the commissioners have anything to say, but like I said, I'm not happy. We worked very hard with the county council, I believe September, October, to keep people working, because if we didn't step up and pay certain items out of the edit, that there could have been up to 48 to 50 people that would have lost their jobs. And as the commissioners, we did step up, we did our job, we helped the council keep those positions. But I was also hoping that we was going to be able to keep the other 3 positions. And I hope on January 4th that they will vote to keep those 3 positions and to keep these people working in the county like we did the other 48 to 50 people. But like I said, I'm just not very happy with what happened. We should have been notified that 9 people were looking to lose their job. And the reason why we're only down to 3 people now is because some went ahead and retired. And some of the people that thought that they were going to lose their job found other jobs and moved on. And we only had 3 that was left. But right now, I'm just not very happy with what happened this year.
I agree. John and I did meet with council. We worked hard to try to save positions throughout the county. Those 8 or 9 people was told, apparently after the budget was submitted, that they were going to lose their job. I think, James, that's when you got a phone call. Is that correct?
Yep.
And so there was 5 or 6 people that went ahead and either found other work or retired. So now we've attempted to save the other 3 jobs, and that's not worked out like we had anticipated. So here we are in this position.
Mm-hmm.
James, you remember when you and I came in to office in 2013, we weren't real happy with the highway.
Yep.
We gave it a few months or years, and then something did have to be done. And it's not fun having to make changes as drastic as this, but accountability is so important. And leadership is so important, where you do the right thing, you're honest with your employees, you don't demand them to do anything that is unethical, illegal. So I agree with you.
What's your recommendation?
I'll make a recommendation that we demote Mr. Jesse, offer him a job, and put Tommy Humbert at the interim until we get some reorganization out there. I think Tommy could handle it. And that's my motion.
The only problem, Sherry, is I don't think right now, because of the positions that Mr. Jesse laid off or removed from the budget, we don't have a position to offer him out there right now.
Well,
I mean, the only thing I can say is we just remove him from his position. I don't even know if we've got another position within the county to offer him right now, but not only him, but I would also look at whoever else was involved with Mr. Jesse that removed these people. I believe in the meeting on Wednesday that the council had, that Donna Patterson asked them twice, from what she said, did the commissioner see your budget? I never heard anybody answer either yes, they seen it, or no, they didn't. So, I mean, the only thing we can do, honestly, is to remove him from his position at this point in time. And then have somebody else come in as interim to run the department until we find out somebody. Steve, you was at that meeting, correct?
Yes, I was.
And Donna did ask them, from my understanding, twice, have we seen that budget?
I think that Bobby answered that you guys did not see the budget.
Okay.
So Sherry, do you want to amend your motion?
yes, I'll amend it to remove him.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to remove Mr. Jesse as the highway superintendent. And a second, does that include moving Mr. Humbert to interim?
Yes, I think he could do it.
James, you're okay with that?
Yeah, I'll agree with it.
Okay, are you clear on the motion in the second, Steve?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Okay, is there any other business before us? John, is there any comments?
Bruce Movilius, thanks my move's off. Thanks to county commissioners for all that you've done for the town of Selma and continue to do. That assistance is very much appreciated by the town of Selma. And there were some comments from others about Larry Bledsoe, thanking him for his service, and also for King for the job being done.
Very good. If there's nothing else further, I will entertain a motion to recess.
I'll make a motion to recess.
Second.
A motion to recess, and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. We're in recess.